This is Jay Scott from The Hook Rocks, and you're listening to the Shout It Out Loudcast, the ultimate KISS podcast. All the information you need. You got the passion, you got the discussion, and you got Tom and Zeus. Check them out.
Hey, what's up there, KISS Army? Tom and Zeus with another episode of Shout It Out Loudcast. Episode 51, Year in Review 2019, the last episode of the year. Tommy, how the hell are you?
Oh, I'm kind of hungover because we're recording the day after Christmas. I hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas and you got some good KISS gear.
I said wonderful little muffin ass.
It's a wonderful little man.
I thought like it's funny. We were starting our conversation before we went on the air. We're both like, "Oh, I'm tired. Oh, I got this. Oh, I got this."
Yeah.
We're like, "The fuck are we doing an episode now?" We're like in a bad mood. Both
because we're dedicated. We don't stop. Nothing gets in the way.
Yeah. So like. Christmas yesterday. Did you get any fun Christmas items?
I did. I got some
Christmas items.
I got some. Well, you. I know how much you love vinyl.
Ooh.
So yeah, I got some. I got some cool vinyl. I got the 30th anniversary blue vinyl of Hot in the Shade. Awesome. Cool. And then I also got the 45th anniversary of the debut album on black and white marble vinyl. Looks fucking amazing. So that's pretty cool too.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. What about you, Booger?
Booger got nothing. No KISS items.
Dang.
No. I am wearing my KISS Army shirt today.
That's true. That's true.
But I get enough KISS stuff on my own. I don't need it.
Oh yeah.
I'm very proud of you. Well, that's good. That's good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I mean, that's the thing I'm wondering. So, is that Hot in the Shade album like remastered or anything?
No, not that I'm aware of. It's just
because that sound on it, the CD I have sucks.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, I will say this, and I know I'm going to sound like one of those vinyl geeks, but the vinyl does sound like different than a CD. Even if it's not like a remastered vinyl, just in general, the sound, because everybody says the CD is like compressed and sometimes sounds weird. But Hot in the Shade is famous for kind of having like a shitty mix to begin with.
Yeah. Well, I would say that.
Yeah.
All right. That's nice. So we're finishing up this episode. What's going on in the last week of the year for KISS?
Nothing. Kind of. They've been off for a little bit for the holidays. They're still in finishing up Japan. But the only bit of KISS news, it's quiet with the holidays and stuff. The only thing, we were just talking about this before we started recording, was that so when they went to Japan, they had Crazy Nights in the encore, but just recently they took it out and put Do You Love Me back in. I didn't see anything about why or who made that decision, but I just thought that was interesting because I'm wondering why,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would like that or don't like it. Like when they come around again and we see them, do I want Do You Love Me again, or do I want Crazy Nights for the first time?
Well, we've heard them. Yeah, I know what you mean. I prefer Do You Love Me, but we already heard it.
Same.
So
exactly.
Crazy Nights would be cool just because it's different.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
But I'm wondering, maybe there was some controversy with them being in Japan because the famous Japanese metal band Loudness has a song called Crazy Nights, if I recall correctly. Maybe they were like, "Hey, KISS, you're not playing Crazy Nights while you're in Japan."
KISS, we are.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
We are. No. Anyways.
No, I don't know. Yeah, so I just thought that was kind of weird. I don't know why they did that, but I don't know. Maybe fan feedback. Maybe everybody was snoozing during Crazy Night. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. Paul is hawking his Puma gear more all over the place, talking about like. Last I saw, he was tweeting about something about women's shoe sizes.
That was
he
great.
got it wrong.
Oh, that was great. He's like, yeah, women's sizes, you have to order up a size and a half from the men's. Like, Paul, if it's this difficult to order these god awful shoes, just forget it.
Oh, forget your fanny pack and your Paul Stanley Puma tracksuit too.
It's terrible. Those sneakers are awful. Oh, no shoes.
Oh, there'll be idiots that'll buy it.
Oh, absolutely.
And then the only other thing I saw was Gene had put something on Instagram or something about a big thing of dessert trade. And he's like, eat it all. Something like that.
Then did you see the picture going around? I saw it on Twitter. I think it might have been on Facebook too. He had like a family picture that would kind of sitting on a couch. And Gene had like a little puppy in his hand. He looked like he was fucking passed out or something. He had like some weird face. I'm like, what are you doing?
Gene, we love you.
Absolutely. Yep.
So and then last week we did our first Kissmas episode.
Yeah.
And we invited a lot of our friends on.
Yep.
Fellow podcasters, Ed from Click Tea Shop. And we did our favorite, Kissmas. What do you want for Kiss?
Yep.
For Kissmas. And everybody had some great suggestions. I thought it was a lot of fun. We got some great feedback from people, and the crowd seemed to like it.
Yeah, that was a great episode. We had our friends Steven and Sonny from Growing Up Rock, had our buddy Steve from Part of the Hell, had Ed, we had Murph Cratchit with his was the night before Christmas.
And what was the other one there? We had we got Steve, we had Ed, we had Sonny on his own. Yeah.
We didn't have Steven and Sonny together. We had them individually. Yeah, separately. Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
We can't put those two together.
No, they can't be trusted. No. But that was an exciting, fun episode. That was cool to kind of wrap up a big holiday season with our friends, those guys.
And we did the polls, excuse me.
Yep.
And I thought the polls said that I think the Kiss Pinball won on Twitter or something.
Yeah, on Twitter, that was the winner. That was about half of the votes were the pinball machine, because we had for Twitter we did new music, the classic Kiss light up sign that I was talking about, collaborating with David Lee Roth. I thought more people would want that. I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
And then on Facebook we just had two options. We talked about the streaming, Netflix series, or Ace and Gene going on tour or doing an album together. And that was surprisingly a little bit closer than I thought. I mean, the Ace and Gene thing won, but I thought that would win in a landslide. But it was
Steve Wright's suggestion. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, I think it proves a lot of people want that. Like a documentary movie miniseries type thing about the band. So.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
Yep.
So, before we get into our year, let's talk about Kiss's year, 2019.
Okay.
So
kick it off.
Yeah. Yeah. So obviously, as we know, they did the end of the road tour kicked off.
That's right.
Opening night, January 31st in Vancouver, Rogers Arena.
Yep. And I think that was when people were like, holy fuck, a painter is opening up for them. Oh, no. God.
Unemployed Painter.
Yep.
That was the start of it.
Yep.
And then what ends up happening is they go through obviously the beginning leg of the North American part of the End of the Road World Tour. Before that, they were making some appearances too. I think they were on Price is Right and a couple other places. Remember that?
Yeah, because all the Kiss fans are watching The Price is Right.
A bunch of old people.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, and then so we got to see them on the tour in which we will discuss later in one of the episodes. We got to see them twice. We saw them at Mohegan Sun, the casino, and then we saw them also in the TD Garden in Boston.
Yep.
So that was fun.
Yep, that was in March.
Yeah, and then I think there was the Gene Ace Frehley, I'm going to kill you, or let me take over the throne and stop diddling my wife, my girlfriend incident.
Yep, the gloves are off type of shit. All that chaos that happened. Yep, that was bad.
Which has kind of been forgotten.
That's a good point. It kind of just came and went. You're right. It's nobody. It's okay, nobody talks about that anymore. It's was it real? Did it happen?
Yeah, and that's kind of what the hell was that?
Right.
But that's a good thing. They seem to be back on normal stages.
Yep.
The Kiss continued to tour. They went over to Europe, the second leg of the tour. The third leg of the tour, they came back to the States.
Yep.
And then, they wrapped up the fourth part in Asia, which they finished up in Japan.
Yep.
The only thing I could think of musically they did was the whole dropped one song.
That's it.
Right?
Yeah,
they dropped two songs.
Yes, that's right. They started off with Hide Your Heart.
Yeah, and they got rid of that and put in Dr. Love.
That's right. Yep.
And they've gone back and forth with Do You Love Me in Crazy Nights.
Right. So they dropped Do You Love Me, went to Crazy Nights, and then just recently they're back to that. So and then in between that we had the cruise, which we'll talk about as part of our episode.
One of our episodes, yeah.
We had the Australia debacle with the cancellation, Paul being sick.
But what else in Australia?
Oh God, the fucking shark boat thing. Oh God. Just what the fuck. And then the recent news is probably the biggest of the year was that the David Lee Roth is going to be opening up for them.
Yeah. So I mean, all in all, it's been a year of touring.
Yeah.
There were a couple health scares. Gene and the kidney stones there, whatever he had, and Paul with his illness. What do you have? Influenza. I don't know what the hell he caught.
Yep. I think it was the flu.
Montezuma's revenge.
Yeah,
whatever he got, the shits or whatever.
Probably.
And there's been some like hints at possible movies coming out or anything like that, but nothing with regard to new music. Or anything else like that. And then the last thing I would say is probably pretty important is that they announced the final show will be in New York.
That's right. Yep. 2021.
Yeah.
That's right. Yep.
And other than that, it's really, they had to cancel a couple shows. Other than that, it's been really a year of touring for them.
Yeah, like you said, it's just been relentless touring with an occasional, something different, but it's just been touring and touring. Yep, good for them.
And you know what? They also had the box set thing that we just talked about with the LPs.
Yes, yep, that massive thing. Which, by the way, we were talking about that. I saw some reports that thing sold out in like 2 hours when it went on sale. So
who would buy that? Gone.
Exactly, gone. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's what they did. So let's go over to us. Ready to look back on the first year of Shout It Out Loudcast?
I still can't believe it because at this time last year, I was in Florida at my mom's. Who, by the way, my mom is still here. I'm like, Ma, you gotta wait. I'm recording with. I'm a grown man. I have to go into my bedroom and record a podcast.
She's gonna come in and be, Tommy, is this your underwear?
Well, if it's a blue thong from Crazy Nights, it is.
Fucking Murph. Thong idea.
Oh no! So last year at this time, I was in Florida.
Oh,
and we were like. I think we started like the Twitter page was kind of like just kicking off. We had just posted like some things about, excited to start the thing soon. Stay tuned. And like, here we are a year later. It's just mind blowing.
Yeah, that's right. And so let's break this stuff down.
You kick it off, buddy.
Yeah. So we started the first episode. Wasn't even really an episode. We didn't give it a number or anything. It was, Wouldn't You Like to Know Me? And when me and Tom decided to do this podcast, we were like, let's have all our episode titles be like Kiss theme related for some reason.
Yeah.
So Wouldn't You Like to Know Me was our introductory episode where I don't know. I think we're the same people.
Yeah.
We weren't as, I would say carefree on that episode as we are now, but
yeah, that's true. So it's funny if you listen to anybody out there, listen to all different podcasts. When you listen to like the first few episodes and then listen to where they are today, though everything's different. I mean, everything ranging from audio quality to content to attitude, behavior, like because you get comfortable. I mean, we've been doing this every week for a year. So so we were friends obviously before with our own kind of silly relationship, but now every week it just fuels itself even more. So you listen to those first few episodes where, obviously new at it, tentative, talking into a microphone type stuff, but it's fun to look back and see, where we were,
Yeah, absolutely. And then we started our first episode. We called it Got to Choose. And honestly, guys, this first episode was the whole point of us doing this podcast, because this is the typical thing that me and Tom used to debate.
Yep.
And that was we would always bitch about all these compilations, and then some songs wouldn't be on them. So we were like, this doesn't make sense. This is bullshit. And in addition to that, we had the clever idea of, let's take a Kiss list, but let's do it fantasy football style. Let's do a draft.
Yep.
You get to pick it, and then see whose album's better. So we took those two ideas. I think we hit it out of the park with our first episode, which was a top 15 list of album non-compilation compilation.
Yep. Yeah.
So
and you're right. You're right. That's what kicked it all off, because like we've mentioned before, but even before this podcast, we were just incessantly texting and communicating about Kiss, and we used to be like, oh, it all started actually with the friggin' like Mr. Speed.
Yeah.
just came back. We were like, oh, one of the greatest songs to never be on a compilation. And then the conversation just evolved from there. And then I think it was you who actually was like, let's fucking do a podcast. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And
of course we name drop him sometimes, and that's Jericho. When he listened to us and he talked with us, he goes, oh, another Kiss podcast.
Yep.
But he's like, you guys come at it a little bit differently. And that's what we've been hearing, is that we're a little bit different than the rest of them out there. And everybody should and try to be unique. I mean, we don't need a bunch of straight shooters doing 15 different reviews of Destroyer.
Right.
Like, will we do one? Yes, we will eventually. But we wanted to add something different, and that is our juvenile, childish fucking humor. And also not pussyfooting around. And as Tom said, and I think the introductory episode, we're not here to give Kiss a long foot rub.
Yep.
We love the band. They're our favorite band, but we're going to call it like we see it. I think Got to Choose was a perfect example of that. And, we like to come at you guys with different ideas and different thoughts, and to make this a fun podcast that you want to be part of and listen to. So we were off on a great start with that first episode. I think your first pick overall was Mr. Speed. Mine was It's All Right.
Yep.
It's a great episode. Guys, give it a listen. You'd love it. It was a lot of fun. Then we skipped over, Tom, to the second episode, which we did another theory of ours, which we thought was original, but it wasn't. And that is The Real Kiss Alive 3. So we have the concept of every 3-year albums, Kiss would do a live album of material from the previous 3 albums. So we took that, and we took the I think it was the solo albums, Dynasty, and what was the other one there?
It was the new material off Kiss Alive 2. Then the solo albums and Dynasty.
Yes.
Yep.
And we mostly had the same tracks, but of course we had a couple different ones in there. That was a lot of fun, because when you add, a few of those solo album songs in there, it's quite interesting to see what you picked and what I picked, and what was your opening song and what was your closer.
Yep.
It's just. That was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Hopping over to episode 3, we did, and that was called
Great Expectations. Yep.
Yeah, a song title better than the song itself for an episode, right?
Yeah, that was the one where we decided, okay, let's do a prediction about the End of the Road tour, because if we back up a little bit here. the timing couldn't have been more perfect for a creation of a podcast right when Kiss starts their end of the road tour, when they're in the culture of social media and news that everybody's talking about them. So the timing worked out perfectly. But then we're like, hey, you know what? Kiss is going to be starting this tour soon. Let's do it like a prediction episode. What do we think some of our locks are going to be?
So we did
that was
top 20, Tom, with some 5 honorable mentions.
Yep.
So we called this one End of the Road. Now, of the 25 songs, including the honorable mentions, how many? You got 17 out of 25.
See,
I had 18 out of 25. Beat you by 1, my friend.
But the problem with that, this is one of those lists where I wish we were more wrong, because I think that just shows how predictable we knew, the set was going to be.
I think it's funny because I think in the top 10, Rock and Roll Night, Detroit Rock City, Deuce, God of Thunder, Shout It Out Loud, Love Gun, I Love It Loud, Black Diamond, Lick It Up, I Was Made for Loving You.
Yep.
I had 10 for 10. Yep.
That's awesome. Yeah.
You missed out on 1, and that was Hotter Than Hell.
Oh, well, you know what? But that's
a good thing.
I was just going to say, that's a pleasant surprise. That was a good one.
Yeah, exactly. And then we got into our first album review.
Well, no, hold on, because before.
Oh, no, you're right, Tom.
Yeah, real quick. So after we did the prediction episode, then we did our review episode, and that was when no, I take that back. We talked about not our first experience. We talked about the opening show.
And that was called The End of the Road.
Yes. And that was the episode that had all of that insane drama with Ace and that social media post with the gloves are off and all that kind of crazy shit, and people like, holy crap.
Yeah, and that's just the crazy stuff. That for this year that Kiss got into.
Yep.
But it's funny because the end of the road discussion we had, it kind of went a little bit like what we thought, and then we got to name the Unemployed Painter.
Oh God.
His first appearance on this podcast.
That's right.
What the fuck? And you guys know how, at least I feel about the Unemployed Painter. Thank God he's gone with David Lee Roth coming in.
Yeah, he's unemployed again. Well, not really, but you know what I mean. Yeah.
We can paint each other up.
Yep.
Episode 5, Animalize review.
Yep. First album review. I still don't. That's when we started pulling albums out of the hat, because everyone's like, "Why the fuck would you start with Animalize?"
I know. We just didn't want to make it like, oh, well, I really want to hear a review on Crazy Nights, and now I got to wait 20 fucking album reviews or whatever.
Yeah, that's why we make it random.
Yeah,
yep.
So it's funny. We obviously had the top one, Heaven's on Fire, the same. But this is the beginning of how everyone can see how different our opinions are. I think we had everything else like mixed up. Nothing was close.
Yep.
It was all over the place. And Heaven's on Fire was the best song for both of us. And then, we went through the last 9, and they were all, like I said, we started the trend of, very diversified picks on album reviews.
Yep. And ranking. And then we'd go into like ranking the whole album top to bottom. And, that started the format. Yep. Right? The album covers front and back. And so, yeah, the format for the album reviews is, that's good. We stuck with it. I mean, that came with Animalize, and that's still the format that we do today with album reviews. So that's cool. Yeah.
And so the next episode, was episode 6, Smashes, Thrashes, and Shit. I would probably say that may be my favorite episode we did.
This is when this is when I think the real personalities of each of us came out, with the negativity and the humor and just the just that this was a good episode. And it's funny because we might have to do a part I either want to do a part 2 or I want to do a Smashes, Thrashes, and Shit revisited.
Yeah.
and take a look at that list and see if anything has changed in our mind.
I can tell you right now, a couple have changed.
Okay.
A couple of me have changed. Now, you had When You Wish Upon a Star as your worst.
Yep.
And I had Just a Boy. There were a bunch. Again, the constant theme of me and you having a variety of opinions about their songs.
Yep.
Was, once again enforced on that episode 6.
Absolutely.
It was just,
that was good.
It was just hilarious. We couldn't even keep a straight face playing some of the songs.
Oh yeah, it was great. Good stuff. Yep.
Yeah.
And then after that, we got into our first kind of like discussion style episode, which was called We Are One.
Right.
And, we kind of just broke down, the lineups, just kind of, era by era, kind of decade by decade. And that was kind of like, like I said, like our first kind of like discussion based episode. So that was a good one, kind of a general topic of the band's history type of thing.
We obviously number 1 is the original. We both had that. And number 11 of the 11 different lineups, me and you had correct. And that was the same. And we had Paul, Gene, Mark St. John, and Eric Carr. What I found interesting is you had number 2 was the Revenge lineup.
Yep.
I had the Reunion lineup in 96. But let's say I get the Reunion because it's similar to the original out of the way.
Yep.
I had Ace and Eric as my number 3. And then you had that as your number 3.
Yep.
And then you had Reunion as 4, and then I had Revenge as my 4. So the top 4 were basically the same.
Yep.
We're very similar to this. Nothing really stood out.
Right.
But it was a lot of fun discussing all the, rare, randomly discussed lineups. The Tommy, Eric Singer, Tommy and
Peter,
and then the Ace and Eric Singer lineups and stuff like that.
Yep.
And why we would choose one over the other, because I think we had different opinions then.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yep. And then after that, then we go back to an album review. We did Dress to Kill. That was good. That was, same format. But then we go to episode 9.
Whoa. Let's take a step back.
Go ahead.
Dress to Kill, we both had the first 2. Actually, I think the top 3. Rock and Roll Night, Come On, Love Me, Love Her All I Can, the same.
Yep.
But our last awful song was, you had Ladies in Waiting, and I had Anything for My Baby is the worst.
How dare you?
How dare you?
Yeah, it's a great song.
All right, so where did we go next, buddy?
So then The World Was Never the Same as Mirth was dropped on the Kiss Army on our episode number 9, Coming Home, where we do our we talk about the 90s, everything that went on with Kiss in the 90s.
Yep.
That was a good one. That was fun. That was Murph's life has never been the same since he stepped foot into the Shout It Out Loudcast arena for that episode.
He doubled his social media followings up to 4 now.
Come on, man.
Murph made it in, and he made his and we had our first Stonehill College kind of conversations about all the characters that will soon take over on this podcast. That's right.
That's right. Yep.
So that was the Coming Home episode 9. Episode 10, All for the Glory.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what that one was about?
Now, if you can believe it, we're gonna have to stop preparing in a few months, or not even sooner than that, because this was our Makeup Madness 64 song makeup tournament. And
tournament.
And we're going to be bracing ourselves for the non-Makeup Madness coming up soon, if you can believe it.
Brace yourself, fool.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, so we're doing it as with non-makeup, 64 songs. I hope there were 64 songs in the non-makeup era. I'm sure there were. And we'll be talking about that and, prepping that up soon for you guys. But yeah, so All for the Glory, we just discussed the March Makeup Madness preview, and that was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. And then after that, we did our first band member focus episode. We talked about Peter Criss, and we broke down his catalog, like his Kiss catalog, not his solo stuff, and ranked our favorite Peter songs. So that was a good one. So we definitely have a couple more of those type of episodes coming soon.
Yeah, we called that one Hooligan.
Yeah.
And Tom had, this is where we are way all over the place.
Yeah,
on
this is bad.
Opinions. Tom had Hooligan as his number one song.
Yeah.
I didn't even have it on my list.
That's horrible.
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 And then I think I had Black Diamond from Alive as my number one. You had Black Diamond as your second. I had Mainline as my second.
Yep.
But we did a top 10 list. A lot of fun in talking about the Catman.
Yep.
Where did we go next?
Then after that, we bring back Murph.
Oh,
because this is when we did this episode after we do our concert review. We saw two shows within a few days of each other. We saw the show at Mohegan Sun and the show at the Boston Garden. And so that was our review. That was interesting because, generally speaking, we all loved it. We had a couple of issues with certain things, but overall we were all blown away. We loved it. So that was a good one. And there'll be more review episodes coming up. We'll be doing that again for sure.
Yeah, and then the next one we got into was a lot of fun, and that one we called Love 'Em and Leave 'Em. You want to talk about that?
That was when we had our first real guest. No offense, Murph. That's when we had our friend Sonny Hollywood. Who the fuck is Pooney from Podcast Rock City and Growing Up Rock? That was his visit with us, and we gave our top 5 overrated and top 5 underrated things about Kiss. So that was obviously a very fun and opinionated one we had there.
Tom's overrated number 1, Ace Frehley solo.
Yep.
Me, Ace Frehley, the guitar god. Sonny, I Love It Loud, the song.
Yep.
Underrated, you had Kiss Alive 3. I had Sean Delaney influence, and Sonny had Kiss podcasts and expos. Nothing like patting yourself on the back there, Sonny, huh?
Oh, that was a good one.
That was a lot of fun. And then thus started the Sonny start appearances on Shout It Out Loudcast. Look for some more coming your way.
Yep.
Now, 14, right?
Yep. So let's see. So 14 was the Gene Simmons solo album review. Oh boy.
Yes.
Oh boy. This was. Go ahead. There was a lot going on with this one.
Yeah. So the bookends were the same. Radioactive was both number ones for us. When You Wish Upon a Star was towards the end.
Yep.
This whole I think this was the most insane one.
Yep.
Like of where we picked songs. Like I had Man of a Thousand Faces Always Near You as the next two.
Terrible.
And you, I think, were like fucking annoyed, upset, disillusioned.
I was actually angry that you had that song that high.
You had Living in Sin and Burning Up with Fever. We were all over the place. It was just a lot of fun discussing this album. Is kind of polarizing.
Yep.
But that's what I think makes it, this podcast work, though, brother. Right?
Oh, yeah.
That we're all over the place. You don't know what we're gonna pick, and we're not just
differing opinions.
Diddling each other.
Yep. Exactly.
Or diddling each other.
I was wondering what you just said there.
Dittoing.
Okay.
Dittoing, not diddling, but that's okay.
All right. So before we continue, we're going to take a break here. And in preparation for New Year's, I have to load up on my buddy Ace's favorite drink, some champagne.
And we're back. And I'm ready to roll over into the new year like baby New Year's.
Oh, baby New Year. Oh, God. That poor bastard.
But think about those fucking movies. What kind of a story they giving kids? First, Rudolph is like, get the fuck out of here, you fucking freak. And then all of a sudden, the baby New Year's pops out there like, oh, cute. And then his ears pop out like a million other Americans, right? With big ears. And everyone's like, ah! Laughing at
Nothing like some good old animated bullying.
The poor little baby just sat there and everyone laughed at him because they had huge ears.
Nerd.
What a great enriching story that was. Anyways, so we moved on, Tomas, to episode 15. Want to talk about this one? What did we call it?
Yeah, this was Get All You Can Take, Kiss draft number 2. We did a draft of 12 songs made up of Paul Stanley non-makeup songs. Oh, this was great. This was a good one. Yep.
Yeah, so you had Take It Off as number 1.
Yep.
And I had A Million to One. The thing about this is when we got Jericho's attention. And we started chatting with him a little bit. And he gave us what he would have taken. And he said that his number 1 would have been Heaven's on Fire, A Million to One.
Yep.
And then he gave us a list of all the ones we didn't take. Even his list that he did take, I think they fucking sucked, half of them. But that's okay. We love them anyways.
Yep. No, that was good. That was good, and that kind of paved the road for an episode that we'll discuss a little bit later on here. So,
but hard to complain though. He did have "I Just Wanna" and "Let's Put the X in Sex" on his.
Oh, he loves that song. Oof.
I'm with him on that.
Oh,
but
God.
King of the Mountain and My Way and.
Oh yeah, My Way.
What else? Well, I shouldn't. Yeah, I shouldn't. Master and Slave, but
It's a good song.
Yeah. So episode 16, The Real Kiss Alive 4, keeping that tradition going.
This was hilarious because I think our buddy Stephen Michael from Grown Up Rock had something to say. He's like, only you guys could make a fucking live album from unmasked music from the Elder and the originals off of Killers. Oh, man.
Honestly, of all the friggin' Alive things, I would buy this album first.
Really? I love it. I love it too. I do like it.
Like of the Alives that me and you came up with on the show, I'm saying.
Well, I think
we did 3 this year.
Well, I think we talked about how much this would have been awesome because it wasn't a live album from this lineup. So this would have been great, you know.
We had songs like The Oath, Nowhere to Run, Dark Light. Come on.
Yep. That was good.
That was good. A lot of fun. Episode 16.
Yep.
17, we started our first Kiss DVD review, Kiss Confidential.
Yep. That was another kind of random pick. Like we said with the albums, we just wanted to grab one because we're not going to do stuff in order because that just kind of makes it boring. And, you know, doing things out of order is good. Kiss Confidential, we watched it. Who knows if we'll ever watch it again after doing that review of it.
Kiss would ever have us do anything, especially after the next episode. Another fucking Mountain Rushmore of season 1 with us, Tom.
I'm just laughing just thinking about that. I think the preparation for this episode, this started the whole save it for the episode because I kept texting Zeus stuff. I'm like, have you started reading this book? Are you almost done? And Zeus would be like, yeah, why? And then I would say something like, save it for the because there was just so much to talk. Oh, dear God.
Oh,
I mean, and God bless Paul, but oof.
Backstage Pass, episode 18. I think this is when we really started getting in some of our loyal listeners, when they started really to come on and get our sense of humor.
Yep.
And we started going into like Paul telling us how to lift weights and how to grease the pan when you're making pasta.
Well, I think what happened is this episode gave us a chance to really let people know, like, hey, you know what? Like, you're going to get honest commentary from us. Like we're going to tell you that this book sucks. Sorry.
So do his Pumas he's wearing.
Oh, yeah, that was good. That was good.
Then we go into episode 19, Last Chance.
Oh, yeah, that was we welcomed another one of our friends, Stephen Michael from Growing Up Rock, and we talked about our 5 favorite and 5 least favorite studio album closing tracks.
Yeah,
so that was a good one for sure. And we got out when we have to bring him back for album openers soon.
Correct.
Yep.
Tom had Rock and Roll All Night. I had Black Diamond. Steven had Making Love. What the fuck?
Poor Steven.
Worst closing track. Tommy had When You Wish Upon a Star. I had Boomerang. And Steven had When You Wish Upon a Star.
Yeah, it's kind of cheating. It's kind of cheating picking that as the closer because that's just everybody knows it's just garbage.
It's just still terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Episode 20, one of my favorites we did because one of my favorite albums.
This was a good one, the Rock and Roll Over album review, and this was good because we really got into some of the demos and some of the songs that became songs type of thing, and we found those and added those into the episode, and that was really good. And this episode is famous for introducing the world to the I Want You story.
Oh, that's right. Woo! Yeah, that's right. And we both had Mr. Speed as our number one.
Yep.
But then if you look, the next Tommy then had Calling Dr. Love, Ladies Room, Take Me. I had Love 'Em, Leave 'Em, Baby Driver, Calling Dr. Love. Again, very different opinions.
Yep.
But I love doing album reviews, and Rock and Roll Over is just one of the best,
Absolutely. Yep.
Where did we go next?
After that, we got episode 21, When You Wish Upon a Star. We talked about 5 things that we wish Kiss would do and 5 things that we wish Kiss did not do. This was a good one because, again, it really kind of highlighted our differing opinions, what we think of the band, what we think of their history. And this was early June. So, the tour was only a few months old. There still wasn't too much drama. So a lot of these the wish list, different from the Kissmas Christmas episode wish list. But that was good. Another episode that, like I said, highlights our opinions and kind of our thoughts on the band in general,
Yeah, Tommy had a wish embrace their musical history more.
Yep.
I had changed the set list.
Oh God,
a common theme. And Tommy for wish they wouldn't do or didn't do shit on their own catalog.
Yeah, and I highlighted things like The Elder or Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. Just kind of
that Paul usually shits.
Yeah,
on.
Just own that stuff. Own it.
Yeah, and I think the same shit on their own stuff in catalog as my number one as well.
Yep.
So that was fun.
Yep.
22,
we had Take Me Away, Together as One. This was an interesting topic, and I think Zeus, you were behind this topic, and this was our top 10 Kiss songs that feature either a duet or like multi vocalists. Songs like Shout It Out Loud or things like that.
Yeah, you had Come On and Love Me. I had Black Diamond as number ones.
Yep.
Great. That was a lot of fun. And then after the episode, we realized we missed like 3 or 4 songs.
Yeah, and I remember preparing for that episode. We're like, well, wait a minute. Does like Come On and Love Me? Does like the multi harmonies? Does that count? Or are we talking about? It was
baby, don't you hesitate.
Yep.
We're like, oh, that's Gene.
That's Gene. So so that made that. So that was good. Yeah. And then after that, we had episode 23, Talk to Me. And this is, I think, when we introduce the world to Stuart.
Eddie Trunk got baptized as Stuart.
Yep.
From Beavis and Butthead.
Yep.
And it was just a lot of Eddie Trunk bitching about Kiss, a lot of Vinnie Vincent drama.
Yep.
And we said, you know what? Let's just do an episode where we just talk about trending topics right now. And we called it Talk to Me. And it'll be something that we'll do again when something else is going on that needs to get our venting.
Well, because I remember preparing for that episode because we always try to talk about, Kiss news. And I remember we were talking and we're like, there's a lot going on like right now. Why don't we just have like the news kind of like be the episode? And it turned out it was good. We were just ranting and raving on that episode. That was a good one. Yep.
No, you're right. 24
after
Ed
that
comes on with Click Tea Shop.
That's right. Another new friend of the show, Ed Spangenberg from Click Tea Shop, the man behind our beautiful new logo and the man behind that great website with all the Kiss-inspired and Kiss-related products. Most known for T-shirts, but has way more stuff than just T-shirts.
Yeah, and that's where you can go grab all your Shout It Out Loudcast merchandise from clickteashop.com.
Yep.
That was a lot of fun. Ed's a big Kiss fan. He has a great product. Keep giving him some love. He deserves it.
Yep.
25.
25. After that, so Murph comes on again. And this is when we came up with a 15-song summer playlist perfect for your 4th of July cookout.
We had some fun songs on this. I don't know. It's all over the place. You had, for some reason, Strutter 78, which baptized.
Disco Strutter. That's right. That's right.
Yep. And, what did I have that was kind of out there? I put Don't You Hesitate on there.
People are like, what?
The fuck is that? Murph, I'm looking. Yep. I was like, wait a minute. He didn't have it? Yes. The streak of Murph referencing Shandy was on this.
Oh, yeah. That you're right. I think that this episode gave birth to the Murph Shandy love affair. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. And then, we went into a lot of what would have happened at Stonehill had these parties gone on and all the raunchy, stupid shit we used to do back then.
Yep.
Episode 26.
Yep.
Halfway there, buddy.
Oh, go ahead. Partners in Crime. This was we created a top 10 list of the best 3 songs in a row from any studio album.
And thus begun my fucking everlasting frustration with social media when we post the episode and do our polls and we tell people, hey, put your favorite 3 Kiss songs in a row on an album and pick. And what would happen?
I like Christine 16, Deuce, and Crazy Nights.
Motherfucker. I would just fucking lose it. Holy shit, assholes. I think this is when people were fucking trolling me.
Yeah.
Like, God damn it. And the whole reason of this is because what I thought was the best 3 songs on any album you're ever going to see. And that was Detroit Rock City, King of the Nighttime World, and God of Thunder from Destroyer. Better 3 songs in a row you're never going to find. Tommy thought he did. And he went with Christine 16, Got Love, and For Sale, and Shock Me.
Yep.
That was a lot of fun doing this album.
Yep. That was a good one. And then after that, we do our first compilation review. We talked about Greatest Kiss, and we talk about all the different versions, all the different international versions, compare and contrast. And I think the one thing we learned from this is that the U.S. version is the worst.
Yeah. We wanted to get the fucking Mexico version with the Mexican names and Pico Chris. And what was it? Pablo Stanley?
Yeah. And Juan Simmons.
What was Ace?
I don't know what Ace was. I don't know.
That's so funny.
Oh, God.
That was a lot of fun. And then we went over the different versions of the album.
Yep.
So episode 28, we called Strutter.
Yep. Top 15 list of the best opening lyrics to a Kiss song. This was a fun one, and this
was research.
Yeah, and I think we did top 15 because we could have just done it for every song in the catalog, pretty much. But no, this was good.
Yeah. So you had "Come On and Love Me."
Yep.
What is that opening lyric?
She's a dancer, a romancer. I'm a Capricorn, and she's a Cancer.
I had, well, my mind is getting dirty around 11:30.
I think that might have been my number 2. I don't know if you have the list.
Do you want to watch some ashes shaking
to the noise the boys are making?
And then we were talking about the local PTO mom that was going to sing this song and waving her panties in the air.
What at Murph's cookout? Oh God.
Anyways, that was a lot of fun doing that. Best opening lyrics to a song. And then what did you get on that one, Tom? Oh, I love the part where he says, she drives us wild. I'm like, motherfucker, it's opening lyric.
Yep. Oh God,
opening.
yeah. Yep. You're right. I think people were just fucking with us, but then I don't know. Who knows? So all right. So after that, we welcomed a new friend of the show, Mr. Chris Sinzak from the Decibel Geek podcast.
Oh yes.
And
Jeopardy.
Yep, and we had Sonny. Sonny played the game show lover, the game show host of that. That was a lot of fun until Chris just threw us into a locker and gave us a wedgie when it came to Kiss trivia. Oh, that's brutal. But that was a ton of fun. That was a lot of fun for an episode for sure.
Yeah, and you ended up betting all your points, ended up with 0, even though you were kicking my ass the whole time.
Yep.
I bet something stupid at the end, and I got 62 points. Chris Sinzak got 15,000.
That was awful. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh.
The questions were ridiculous, though.
They were. We love Sonny, but he was like, what was Gene's dog's name? I'm like, what? Are you fucking kidding me? I don't know.
That one's kind of easy compared to the rest of them. What song was he writing on the plane back from Portugal? What?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
Then, what do we get next? The hottest brand in the land, episode 30.
Yeah, we welcomed another friend of the show, Mr. Nicholas Buckland, the creator of the amazing book, The Hottest Brand in the Land, and sometimes co-host of the Kiss My Collectibles podcast. Nicholas was a great guest and talked about all the ins and outs of that amazing book that he has put together. So we thank him for that appearance. The podcast is great and the book is insane.
Yep. That was fun having him on. And we went into episode 31 next. Album review time, Psycho Circus.
Oh, this is one of my favorite episodes because I think I just love shitting on bad Kiss albums. And I think what happened, I remember saying this when we did this episode. I said, I was on record to say, Monster's the worst album. But whenever we do an album review episode, I always I listen, I exhaust myself with the album. I listen to it top to bottom, front to back. And I was like, this is just not a good album. There's a couple songs that are tolerable. But overall, it's just not a good album.
Yeah, you had I Pledge Allegiance to the State of Rock and Roll as number 1.
Love it.
Raise Your Glasses. I had Dreaming as my worst. You had I Finally Found My Way. We both liked In Your Face, which is not on the album.
Not even on the album. Yep.
Yeah.
I think this. I'm not sure, but maybe this episode. It could have been earlier, but this is when you highlighted your total disdain for the song "Psycho Circus."
Oh my god, fucking Psycho Circus.
Real quick, I'm not going to go off on a tangent here, but real quick. So, my son Michael, 15 years old, he's a Kiss fan. He'll be coming to the show with us in February. He has told me, he's like, Psycho Circus isn't that bad of a song. I'm like, Zeus is going to pound you into the ground when he hears that.
Song is awful. Awful.
Yep.
Episode 32, our third installment, Real Kiss Alive 5.
Yep.
This time we did Creatures of the Night, Lick It Up, and Animalize.
Yeah, awesome. This was a good one because you're talking about 3. I love Animalize. I think you like Animalize, but
yeah,
this was a good one. That was a really cool set list for sure.
Yeah, we had a lot of the same songs on this, different parts in the album, but I think most of the stuff we both had.
Yep.
And it's funny because you both opened the show with Creatures of the Night, Lick It Up, Heaven's on Fire, I Love It Loud, variation of the last 3 songs. So it was a lot of fun.
Yep. Then we move,
33.
Yeah, then we move on to episode 33, Tunnel of Love, our top 15 songs that have the word love in it.
Yep.
Oh, and I love this because I'm looking at some of the show notes. It says the guys try to stay on track, but they end up with detours like discussing Revenge of the Nerds and how and how handsome the 1986 Boston Celtics team was.
That is the ugliest professional sports team photo of all time.
It might be
Look
up
at
there.
the 86 Celtics
I know.
team photo.
Brutal.
Oh my God.
That was awesome.
They're not what you would call a handsome team.
Right. Yep.
Kids, this is part of our unique stupid shit that we do.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of songs with the word love in it. Okay, let's do a list of them. And your number one, Come On and Love Me. My number one, Come On and Love Me. Yep. I Stole Your Love, number two for you. Love 'Em and Leave 'Em for me.
Yep.
This was a lot of fun. It was kind of a unique episode.
Yep.
Episode 34.
We do another DVD movie review of The Second Coming, which chronicled the reunion, the tour, all that. And then I'm pulling up the show notes for the episodes here. It says, the guys give their strong opinions about the reunion. And then it says, keep an eye out for Red from the Tuba and Don Vito Corleone. The fuck?
At one point you said, you can act like a man.
Yeah.
Right? Because we were talking about something when one of them was being like very like effeminate or something.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
You can act like a man.
But then I think we realized that this DVD it's just too fucking long. Like it's not bad, it's just long, really long.
Yeah. Favorite parts were them like rehearsing the behind the scenes, getting back together and stuff.
Yep.
Then we go into episode 35, Watching You, Kiss Draft 3. This was fun.
Yep.
Gene songs from the 70s.
Yep.
Not just makeup Gene, but specifically the 70s makeup Gene.
Yeah, and this is another episode of another another example of like social media fucking bozo-ness. Because like you said, it's 70s makeup songs. Okay.
Oh, I love it loud.
Well, because the point is
Unholy.
Well, the point is that they were makeup songs from the 80s with Unmasked, Elder, and Creatures of the Night. So I remember when we published the new episode on social media, people's like, what do you mean 70s makeup song? Every song in the 70s had makeup. Like, no, you idiot. It's makeup songs, but only from the 70s. Yeah. I'm like, oh.
Well, but my favorite I'm still going back to is the fucking idiots that would tell us Unholy.
Oh, yeah.
Friggin' loud.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Not even makeup Gene, but
right.
Your number one pick, Deuce. Mine was God of Thunder. 2 was Parasite. I had All the Way. Lot of fun on this episode. I think what got everybody fucking up in arms was the fact that I, on this, took as my 12th song, Always Near You, Nowhere High. And I think I've never been more insulted than all that shit I got from that, picking that song.
You deserved all of it with that. It's horrible.
As I told people, there's not that many to choose from. So sorry I didn't pick Let Me Go Rock and Roll.
Oh, I know. Oh, God.
Tommy's favorite.
Yeah.
What do we got next?
Then we got episode 36, Kiss Trivia. We bring back our friend Murph as the host. And this is
MC.
and this is when people discovered the fact that none of us can count.
I still, to this day, I try to go back and see who won.
Yeah.
I still can't figure it out.
No idea. But that was fun. And we played that with that old Kiss Trivia card game. So that was cool. Yep.
Episode 37. We started going through the Kiss box set, DVD 1.
Disc 1.
Disc 1. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Disc 1.
DVD. I'm sorry. CD disc 1.
Right. Yep. Because we wanted to break down the box set like individually, because you can't review that whole thing, all 5 discs. So
yeah. And what we put is I had us break down best Wicked Lester songs on the set in order. You put Love Her All I Can, Keep Me Waiting, She. I had Keep Me Waiting, She, Love Her All I Can.
That was a good one.
Remember now, yeah, because these were Wicked Lester songs.
Yep.
They're not the Kiss version of these songs.
Yep.
Favorite demo? Let me know. Best original song on disc 1. You had Acrobat. I had Keep Me Waiting.
Okay. Yep. Well, I like Acrobat. I like the sound of it live. I mean, it's Love Theme from Kiss, and then it kind of kicks in.
And we both had number 4, Lita.
Oh, God. Brutal.
Lita, Pablo. Episode 38.
Rock and Roll Hell. We create a top 10 list of the worst Kiss songs back to back on a studio album. So worst 2 songs back to back.
This thus started the back half of the year with us shitting on Kiss a little too much, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, worst 2 songs in a row. And what happened on social media?
Oh, God.
Yeah, Boomerang and friggin' Then She Kissed Me. Motherfucker.
They don't get it.
That's not what we said.
Yep. They don't get it. They don't get it.
So you had Just a Boy Odyssey. I had See You in Your Dreams, When You Wish Upon a Star.
Okay.
A lot of fun on that one.
Yep. Oh, then after that, we take a detour with episode 39 and review All Systems Go from Vinnie Vincent Invasion. Oh,
let me tell you something. That made me fall in love with that album more. I'm still playing that.
Me too.
From us doing the review.
Absolutely agree.
I'm still playing tracks from that. That's part of the fun of doing this podcast, when you get right back into something and you're like, holy fuck.
Yep.
Vinnie Vincent, All Systems Go. Me and you both were like 5 stars, maybe the best fucking hair metal song that time of year. We both love that song. And we had the last 2, those fucking additions that they put on. Yeah, I Know and Meltdown as the first 2.
Yeah.
And I think Ecstasy and Deeper and Deeper and Burn was the last one. But we love the beginning, some of those tracks, Ashes to Ashes, Love to Kill. Love Kills and all that stuff. A lot of fun. And I think this was when Kiss lyrics hit, famous last words, hit an all-time peak with one of the best fucking Kiss-related lyrics of all time, Tom. What was that?
Pull the pin on my love grenade? Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Episode 40, we call this one Chris Jericho Kiss Draft 4, right? Is that it?
That's right. Yep. This was the big episode so far with the superstar guest of having Chris Jericho in the house, and we did a all non-makeup era Kiss song draft.
Yep. And we gave Chris the first pick. He chose Heaven's on Fire, of course.
Yep.
I think I went 1,000,000-1. You took Unholy.
Yep.
Chris seemed to love the fact that I picked And on the Eighth Day and Dance All Over Your Face.
Oh, my God.
In which I think I had to explain to him what I think Dance All Over Your Face was probably the most vulgar Gene song of all time.
Yeah. I hope that Chris wasn't serious when you had to explain that to him, but that was good.
I think that should be his next catchphrase in a match. Tells him, I'm going to dance all over your face. But what was great about that is not only did we get to meet a personal hero, but he turned out to be even better in person.
Yep.
And he got us. We went to see the AEW's second show ever.
Yep.
Front row seats, part of the action. Unbelievable experience with an unbelievable guy. And you want to talk about a year, 2019? What a year Chris Jericho's having 2019.
That's right.
Right?
Between Fozzy, between AEW, just, oh, yeah, amazing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's just, hotter than ever.
Yep.
So, by the way, did you see that Instagram photo he had up?
Oh,
with the sweater?
The shitter's full sweater. Yeah, that was awesome. Yep.
I said, he is now like the goat of all goats.
Oh, yeah.
Like of anything that he touches. Like, holy shit. What a fuck. That was
awesome.
Hilarious. I'd love to get a sweater like that.
Oh, I know.
Then we continued on an awesome trend with episode 41.
Yep. Unmasked album review. And this I think this was our longest episode because we did a lot of recap with the Jericho stuff. And then the album review was long because it was a lot of commentary, a lot of opinions on that. So that was awesome.
Yeah, this one really, I think this is when we're like, I think we need to cut back a little. We're like at 2.5 hours.
Yep.
But what a polarizing album.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
And we were all over the place. Your favorite 2 songs, 2 sides of the coin. Tomorrow, I had You're All That I Want, Naked City. Obviously, I had Shandy Is the Worst. You had I Found Out What Makes the World Go Round. And then we took our good friend and buddy Daryl Alber, right?
Yep.
Who's part of us on Pantheon Podcast, took the Borat Dancing with the Dudes in the Village and put the background of I Found Out What Makes the World Go Round, right? And put that in, oh my God, how awesome is that?
It actually fits perfectly. It's on our social media. It's friggin' hilarious.
Oh, what a great job, Daryl. Thank you very much. We're lucky to have him on board with us.
Yep.
Where are we next after 41?
Kids.
Kids.
Holy shit. This is when we reviewed the shit show known as the Paul Lynde Halloween special. Oh my word.
And this is when, I changed my orientation after watching this episode, remember?
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with it. Holy fuck balls.
Yep.
What the fuck was that? That had to be one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Oh my God, brutal.
Because I forgot a lot of the stuff.
I'll be honest with you. I don't even think I ever saw the entire thing start to finish before we did the episode on it. I mean, I found it on Amazon Prime, so I watched the entire thing, but I was like, holy fuck.
Oh, the Rhinestone Cowboy?
Rhinestone Trucker? The fuck, dude?
Oh, the Rhinestone Cowboy?
Rhinestone Cowboy. Oh, my God.
Oh, what's her name, too, with the rack?
Who, Roz?
Pinky Tuscadero?
Oh, yeah, Pinky Tuscadero?
Oh, my God. Mrs. Brady?
Oh, yeah.
Acting all like she thought she was all that and then some.
Shaking her fang.
Shaking her fat ass. All right. Episode 43. What did we call that one?
We did. This is called I'm Alive. And this was our top 10 list of songs that have never been on a live album.
Oh, that was fun.
This was good. Yep. So, and we kind of broke it down. It wasn't necessarily like our favorite songs. It was songs that we would have liked to have heard live, like that, like, you know,
with that specific era.
Yes, exactly.
So you had Got Love for Sale and Charisma as your top 2. I had Mr. Speed and Turn on the Night.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Turn on the Night is not something that you'd want to hear, 96 reunion Kiss do.
Exactly. You want to hear that lineup.
80s, 90s lineup do that. Yeah.
Yep.
Episode 44.
Oh boy.
Kiss Cruise 9.
This, if I'm ranking episodes, this one is right up there. This one was about 2 hours of just straight anger at the band. Oh my God. And then, I was just going to say, if you're tuning in now and you haven't really listened to the older episodes, go back and listen to the Kiss Cruise episode.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun. And we had to put a friggin' disclaimer out there. Right?
Oh,
right? Right?
Warning.
Put on there.
Yeah.
What did we put?
You put warning, this episode contains strong opinions. Yeah, that was brutal.
Then we went into episode 45, compilation time review, the very best of Kiss.
Yep. That was good. This was also when the story broke about Kiss with the Australian tour stuff, and then all the chaos with Bob Kulick and, how all that shit kind of went down. So there was a lot going on in that episode.
Right. That's right.
Yep.
I think we did, and I think we had it backwards. You had Greatest Kiss ahead of it. I had Very Best of Kiss. I had a Greatest Kiss.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
And then we went to what was it, episode 46? What did we call that one?
Happy Kiss Giving. We each gave a list of 5 things that we're thankful for. And then we got a little mushy at the end of the episode. We had our buddy Murph visited us again, and we just kind of poured out our hearts and thanked everybody during that episode.
Number 1, you had Kiss is still touring. Number 1, I had Kiss is in fairly good health, and Murph was thankful for the Kiss Unplugged.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
47
was larger than life. We talked about our top 10 moments in history that should be part of any Kiss movie or documentary.
Yeah. And then you had Paul and Gene there meeting, and I had the same thing.
Yep.
Paul and Gene's meeting that needed to be in there. Not the only 10 things in the movie, but 10 things that we definitely wanted to see.
Yep. And then there's also a comment here again in the show notes. Listen and laugh and watch out for an appearance by Sparky the Clown. Oh my God, what the fuck? Oh.
What did we go to next?
Then
After that?
Episode 48, the Kiss mailbag. That was our first mailbag.
That was a lot of fun. Got a lot of reaction and feedback.
Yep.
Totally listener friendly and a lot of interaction and just a blast to do.
Yep.
Won't be the last time we do those.
No.
Episode 49, right up our alley.
Yep. Kiss Festivus, our top 5 grievances. Yep. That was a good one.
You had lack of DVD media. I had the set list. What else?
Yep. No, that was good. And then we followed that up with our very happy and celebratory Kissmas episode from last week with all of our special guests.
Where you want to hear from Peter Chris. I put the pinball machine. Stephen Michael put the set list. Ed he wants to meet Kiss. Stephen Wright wanted to continue Kissology. Sonny wanted Eric Singer in the Fox makeup for 10 shows. Murph wanted Ace and Peter to definitely make an appearance on the end of the road.
Yep.
Yeah, that was our first 50 plus 1 episodes, and this being the last of the year.
Yep.
I don't know what else to say other than the fact that just going by that, it didn't seem like it just flew by.
Honestly, looking at some of those episodes and looking at the date of the episode, I'm like, how was that 6 months ago? Like, I feel like it's just when you look at that year in review, when you look at how it's amazing. It really is amazing.
Yeah, and it's funny because you remember all the show prep that you do for it. Yep. You remember listening, like, okay, what songs am I going to pick? Okay, what is Tom going to do?
Yep.
And it goes by, and especially when you have like episode guests, you remember calling them and talking to them and prepping. It's been truly a blast.
Oh my God, absolutely.
And, there are a lot of episodes we haven't even come close to scratching the surface of what we want to get to.
Yep.
We have a lot of guests lined up, and we wanted to push them into 2020. So you'll be seeing a lot of guests coming on the show soon.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, you just look back, and it's just amazing with the show, with the tour, the band itself. We just couldn't be any more grateful that we've been able to continue to make it a year.
Yeah, absolutely. And we look forward to next year going forward and all the surprises coming up and for you guys to be a part of it. So that being said, Tom, we have any questions for this week?
Yes, we do. Let's see here. We're going to start off with one from our buddy Steve Wright from the Potter Than Hell podcast. Our buddy Steve sends us a question.
Ooh.
And he says, hey guys, what are your thoughts on an Ace Frehley live album with his current band, and what songs would you like to hear? Use this as a question or an episode, but you must include me. Thank you, Steve Wright. Have a good one, fuckos. Well, we're going to answer your question. We're going to have you on, Steve, believe me, we're gonna have you on. We're gonna talk about all kinds of crazy shit. But I thought this would be a good question because my issue with any Ace Frehley live album, if you look at his set lists for his shows, it's all fucking Kiss songs. He plays nothing from his solo material.
Yeah. And I'm okay with that.
No, I guess I would be too. But there's a lot of people out there that really love, Frehley's Comet or Ace Frehley, the Spaceman album, the Space Invasion, all that stuff.
No, I know.
He plays none of it.
So what do I want to hear? I would want to hear. I don't know. I know Live Plus One has Rip It Out.
Yep.
I'm not really sure what I'd like to have him hear and play. What's off the top of your head?
I would want him. I would want to hear a couple of his Kiss songs for sure. I'd want to hear, like Shock Me, Rocket Ride, stuff like that. But then, play some of your solo material. It could be the Kiss solo album material, but play some of the stuff off, Spaceman, or some of the stuff off Second Sighting, or play some of that. That's, by going to see Ace Frehley and him playing 15 Kiss songs, I don't know. That's not what I would want to go see Ace in concert for.
Yeah, I guess I would say I hate to say the opposite of you, but I'd be like,
that's fine.
I'd want to hear the 3 songs from Dynasty. I'd want to hear Dark Light. I'd want to hear the Unmasked songs. Just stuff that, there's no real live version that you can play over and over again. So that's where I would probably go off the top. And then, the solo stuff is bonus.
Yeah. Okay. I guess that's why it's a good question, because we have differing opinions on it. So yeah. But thanks, buddy. Thanks, Steve. We're gonna have you on here for sure. Maybe we'll talk about Ace. Who knows? So after this we got. This is more of a silly question. It doesn't really have an answer, but it's kind of this is from Facebook. This is from a gentleman by the name of AJ Garditz. Well, I don't know. I'm excuse me for messing that up.
Is that from Billy Burberger?
No, that could be related to Billy Burbader. I read his question, and I looked at the pictures, and I'm like, how the fuck did you even notice this? He goes, "What's up with Uncle Paul wearing 3 chains on his left boot and 2 chains on his right boot for the Love Gun era costumes?" And I said, now granted, there's obviously there's no answer to this. I kind of wanted to bring it up because I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? So I pulled up photos, like concert photos, or a Live 2 photo shoot stuff. He's right. So I'm like, I don't fucking know, dude. What I want to say to AJ is, how the hell did you notice that?
Jesus Christ, how would I know? Right?
No, I know, but those are Kiss fans for you, though.
Yeah, that's insane.
That is insane.
Well, thank you for the questions regardless.
Absolutely. The interaction is great. We love it, even if it's something silly like that. But hey, we love it.
How do people get a hold of us, brother?
Well, we are part of the Pantheon podcast group, and us and all those great Pantheon rock and pop and music podcasts available on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, iHeartRadio, tons and tons of every platform out there possible that you could want to listen to. We're on all the social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We have an email that we love to hear people from, shoutitoutloudcast@gmail.com, shoutitoutloudcast@gmail.com. Comment, interact, email us, share some things. Maybe you have some, if you've been listening to us since day one, maybe you have some funny memories of the show or a particular episode that's your favorite that maybe we didn't, talk about in too much detail as we did our review. Let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, give us one of those 5-star child reviews on Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Podchaser, wherever you can. It helps people find us, and it, really helps the show out. And we really appreciate it if you could do that.
Yep.
Tomas, famous last words.
Well, this is going to be our final episode of 2019. So going into the new year, we can never know where our lives will lead. Wherever you go, whenever you need, I will be there.
They're going to do the Mr. Brady. Wherever you go, there you are.
There you are.
Well, I'm going out with a bang. One of my favorite lyrics, favorite songs, and just typical Paul Kiss lyrics. All right.
Oh, God.
I got a letter just the other day.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
She sent a picture, but she didn't sign her name. She wore high heels and a little black lace. I knew her body, but I couldn't see her face.
Poetry. What a way to bang out 2019.
Yes, with the little let's put the X in sex.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Love it. That being the case, guys, have a safe and happy new year. Looking forward to a great 2020. Thank you, Tom, for being the best partner on this show I could ask for. Thank you, listeners. Let's make this another great year coming forward. Much appreciated.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for making 2019 just an unbelievably fun and memorable and exciting year. And Zeus, thank you for being the Goose to my Maverick. Although Goose dies in Top Gun, so maybe that's a bad analogy.
Yeah, so you're Tom Cruise and I'm the guy that dies. Okay.
But no, it's been a great ride, and we're excited to see what the heck 2020's got in store for us. So thank you, everybody, and have a safe and awesome new year.
Peace out, Girl Scout.